Alright chat, gather up for a minute, because I think we've all been looking at the Bat and the Cave update wrong. Everybody's hyped about the Bat. What does it look like? Is it gonna fly? Will it screech? But nobody's asking the real question. What did the devs base it on? Because every entity in 99 Nights comes from somewhere. The Owlman had real sightings. The Goatman has urban legends. The deer is literally just a reskin Wendigo. So if this Bat is truly the next step, what real-world urban legend inspired it? I'm telling you right now, this video will be the biggest lore investigation we've ever had. Forget just gameplay, forget just a cave. If we figure out the origin, we might unlock the entire identity of the next monster before it even drops. And if you're as curious as I am, hey, drop a like, smash that subscribe button, and let's start digging into the myths because something real might be hiding behind those wings.
Oh my God!
First off, the worst match of them all, the Jersey Devil. I know some people mentioned it because, yeah, technically it has wings and comes from American folklore. But hold on a second, the Jersey Devil has goat or horse features, hooves, and horns. That's already a huge problem, because the teaser bat has no horns. Instead, we clearly saw two big exposed ears and a long, thin body, not a four-legged creature. The Jersey Devil traditionally has goat-like legs and stands like a malformed quadruped, while the teaser bat looked more like a tall, stretched humanoid with only two wings. And here's the nail in the coffin. The devs already used the Goatman myth for the ram. They're not gonna repeat the same creature archetype. So yeah, the Jersey Devil, it only matches on one thing. It has wings. That's it. Weakest by far. Now, the second one is something people keep throwing around. Real bats. Northern Ghost Bat, Vampire Bat, and I get why. The Northern Ghost Bat has pale purplish fur, which kinda matches what we saw in the teaser lighting. And the Vampire Bat could inspire the whole blood-draining idea. But here's the thing. 99 Nights never picks an animal just because of its colors or traits. They never go, oh look, purple fur, let's make it the main monster. That's not how they work. Every main entity in this game is tied to an urban legend, a myth, or an actual cryptid report. Real bats don't have that. There's no mythology, no folklore with rituals. They exist, and that's it. So yeah, if anything, real bats maybe gave them some fur color ideas or wing patterns. But that's it. Nothing deeper. Definitely not the source. Now, here's where things actually start to get spicy. Camazotz, the freaking death bat god of Mayan mythology. And this might be the first theory that actually fits the teaser in a pretty scary way. Think about it. Camazotz literally means death bat. Myth says he guarded sacred caves. He lived in total darkness. He took people's heads off if they wandered too close. And the teaser shows a humanoid silhouette inside a cave. Waiting. Watching. And don't forget the cultists with the ritual altar in the forest. What if they weren't worshipping the deer all this time? What if the deer was never the real god? Only a symbol, and Camazotz is the one they were really waiting for? That sounds like 99 Nights, right? But there's a catch. Camazotz isn't a cryptid, he's a god. And if you look at the devs pattern, they never choose deities. They choose cryptids, creatures that people claim to have seen. Reported in real life, blurry pictures, late night encounters, Owlman, Goatman, Wendigo. Even the ram has indirect connections to American cryptid folklore. That's their style. Camazotz sadly goes a little too far into mythology, so it fits amazingly well concept-wise. But it doesn't match the game's genre, which puts it in second place. And then, we have the one theory that makes way too much sense. The theory that lines up with every single detail from the teaser. The theory that feels so perfect, it almost feels like the devs left breadcrumbs for us on purpose. The Ahool, a cryptid reported by many people living in the southwestern Pacific, including Australia, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. Described as a human-sized bat living deep in jungle caves, with glowing pale eyes, a horrifying screech, and long claws used for attacks or hunting. That's already like 70% of what we saw in the teaser. But it gets even crazier. The name Ahool literally comes from the sound it screeches, Ahool. And guess what players are already predicting? A Screech stun mechanic, maybe sound-based detection, maybe no weapons allowed when it's listening, maybe movement only. Everything fits perfectly. And unlike Camazotz, Ahool is not a god. It's a cryptid. Exactly the kind of story the devs love. Not globally famous, but extremely realistic. People have actually claimed to see it. Explorers have written about it. Locals fear it. That's exactly the same pattern as Owlman, Goatman, Mothman, Wendigo. That's exactly the kind of creature 99 Nights was built around. And if the Ahool really is the main inspiration, then the environment makes perfect sense too. The cave isn't just random. It might be the first ever vertical expansion, not a new biome next to the old ones, but underneath them, down in the dark. No more sunlight, no more safety, just echoes, and pale eyes waiting. Ahool fits that perfectly. The Jersey Devil doesn't, real bats don't, Camazotz kinda does. But the Ahool, it fits too well, like this was always the plan. So, if you hear something from that cave, it won't roar, it won't growl, it won't whisper, it's gonna scream its own name, Ahool, and by the time you hear it, it's already over. So, hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive and want to keep going further into that cave with me, don't scroll away just yet. Smash that like button, drop a comment with your theory, and make sure you hit subscribe, because the next part, we're gonna break down exactly how this thing might hunt us in gameplay, and trust me, you don't want to face it unprepared. Alright, chat, I'll see you in the next video.